Sergio arrives at his father David's apartment with his young daughter, Maria, hoping to stay there for a few days after separating from his wife. But David no longer lives alone. He is married to Karen, a cold and unpleasant woman who has never truly accepted Sergio as family. When the intercom rings, Karen answers with irritation. Sergio explains that he already spoke with his father about staying there temporarily. Instead of opening the gate, Karen tells him to wait outside while she comes downstairs. Before leaving, David asks who was at the door. Karen lies without hesitation, claiming it was only the mail carrier. David finds it strange. He hasn't ordered anything recently, and Sergio and Maria were supposed to arrive any minute. Meanwhile downstairs, Karen confronts Sergio with obvious hostility. She claims David never told her anything about the visit and asks why he suddenly needs a place to stay. Sergio admits that he and his wife have separated. Rather than showing compassion, Karen becomes even colder. She insists that David is too old to make decisions like this and complains that she is too tired to deal with a child in the house. Sergio is shocked. If they cannot stay there, he and Maria will have nowhere to sleep. Karen remains unmoved. She tells him to find somewhere else because in that house, she makes the rules. She even mocks him for depending on his father at his age and makes it painfully clear that he and Maria are not welcome. Trying to stay calm for his daughter's sake, Sergio takes Maria to a nearby park. He still believes his father would never knowingly abandon them. Back upstairs, Karen continues lying to David, saying the delivery was simply for a neighbor. But David senses something is wrong. Too much time has passed since Sergio and Maria were supposed to arrive, so he decides to go downstairs himself. Karen feels no guilt. In fact, she seems relieved that she managed to keep Sergio and Maria out. She doesn't care that a father and little girl could spend the night cold and hungry. Her lack of empathy is frightening. When David steps outside, he notices the park at the end of the street. There he sees Sergio sitting on a bench while exhausted little Maria sleeps in his lap. The sight breaks his heart. David rushes over and asks why they are outside. Sergio honestly explains that Karen refused to let them in. Furious, David immediately tells them to come home with him. He insists they are not a burden and can stay as long as they need. Sergio worries about causing problems between David and Karen. But David makes something very clear: family comes first. His son and granddaughter will always have a place in his home. Back at the apartment, Karen is furious to see them enter. David ignores her protests and helps Sergio and Maria settle into the quest room. Then he confronts his wife. He reminds her that they had already discussed the visit days earlier. Karen coldly responds that she never agreed to host Sergio or that little girl. David is horrified by her cruelty. His son and granddaughter were left alone in the cold, hungry and desperate, while she showed no concern at all. Karen argues that she doesn't want crying children or an unemployed man in the house. But David has had enough. He tells Karen that Sergio and Maria have more right to be there than she does because they are his family. Then he makes a final decision: she must leave. Karen is stunned that he would end their marriage over this, but David refuses to stay with someone so heartless and selfish. Even then, Karen shows no regret for what she did. So what do you think? Did David make the right decision, or was Karen justified? Leave your opinion in the comments.